Hey everybody, welcome back to 13 Rings, an NFC East podcast. I'm your host, Lucas, with Mal, Maurice, and Earl, and we are celebrating not only the eve of Christmas Eve, because we're recording one night earlier, because, Christmas Eve, obviously, but we're also celebrating our 75th episode, which, guys, it doesn't feel like we've been doing this 75 times, but here we are doing it. It's great. I love this. I feel like we kind of became like this pseudo NFC East family. I don't know about you guys, but Merry Christmas to y'all. Y'all are going to get Christmas cards in the next week or two. Don't worry about that.
Merry Christmas. Appreciate that. 75. High five, y'all.
Merry
High
Christmas.
five, y'all.
And those of our other... Yes.
It's been 75 episodes of Mal being stressed.
Always.
Earl ranting.
Preaching.
Me being... pessimistic and Lucas being optimistic.
I was not optimistic in season 1. Let's be clear.
Oh no, you on cloud 9 in season 2.
Yeah, we'll get into
I
that.
might have been
that roller
optimistic
coaster.
a little bit at first about Sam Howell, but that quickly dampered.
Yeah, shout out Sam Howell.
Also,
Shout
for
out
any of
Sam
our other
Howell.
followers that don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the other holidays. Of course, Solstice just came along with Yule, so any other of our followers that are not of the Christian faith that practice any other religion, happy holidays to you as well. And make sure that if you guys like our content, you like, comment, and subscribe to this episode. Also, make sure we are starting to do a new thing where we do short little YouTube things, just YouTube exclusive, where we could talk on for like anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes, depends. And we talk about, relevant news to our teams or relevant thoughts to our team that can't wait until our next episode, because you guys know we only record once a week. You can check out Earl's, which is Dallas Barbershop Talk. You can check out Maurice's, which is Philly Cooking with Maurice. You can check out NYG Weather Report with Mal, Weather Girl Mal, and of course DC Football 101 with me, Lucas, aka Mr. J. And of course Earl is JT on his. That being said, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube page for that too. That being said, guys, week 16. Where did the season go? It didn't feel like it's going by too quick, right? Maybe for most of us, maybe not Mal. Sorry, Mal.
Yeah, it's not quick enough.
Not quick enough for Shador Sanders, right? So, that being said, let's review our week 16 predictions. So, we 3 out of 4 of us had Dallas winning that game. I'll be honest, I had Dallas losing that game. Proud of y'all for coming out on the win with that.
Yeah.
Got a little close there at the end than it needed to, but I'm sure Earl will talk about that. Then week 7, then for the Giants, week 16, everybody, 3 out of 4 of us had them losing, but one person had them winning. Who was that person?
I don't think it was me.
No, it wasn't you.
Was it me?
It was Earl.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me.
It was me.
I must have had too much. I must have had too much eggnog.
It's September. In August.
It's funny that you mentioned eggnog, because me and Maurice were recording an episode for our other podcast, NBA Now and Then, and I took a quick hiatus to go to the kitchen to get a drink. And when I came back, I had a coffee mug full of eggnog, and which was hilarious because our boss on that one finds it funny whenever I mention eggnog because of a video I made a couple months back. That's on my personal social media, so yeah. Anyway,
Check it out.
Check it out. If you know who I am, if we're friends already, cool. If not, too bad, so sad, you're dad. So, that being said, we go to the Commanders. Week 16, 3 of us had them winning, 1 of us had them losing, and I can't believe I actually had them losing. That is surprising. Okay.
How about that?
Interesting.
How about that? Even
How
you
about
had
that?
them winning, Maurice.
You didn't keep the faith, Lucas.
You know what? I had them winning in our first matchup. So,
Okay.
yeah. I thought it was going to be like a home road split, but like flipped.
Mm.
So, anyway, that being said, last but not least, the Eagles. So, we know Maurice, y'all had them losing and I had them winning. Didn't work out that way. But Maurice, this was probably, I would say, the most epic game in the NFC East so far this season. So how about we talk about it?
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I take that
Divisional
back.
game.
Yeah, I take that back. It was kind of a struggle. It was kind of like a little
It was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot both ways. It was a lot of swings.
Yeah,
the Eagles
reffing on both sides.
Yeah, I'll get into that. I'll talk about that. The Eagles lose. My team lose to the Commanders 36-33. Where did I begin? Well, first of all, my starting quarterback got knocked out with a concussion. Hope he's doing better, feeling better. Jalen Hurts was knocked out early in the second quarter. Excuse me, late in the first quarter, pardon me. The offense was rolling at that point, though. We scored 14
We gave you a 21-point cushion. Couldn't hold on to it, my man.
Yeah, I mean, we scored. This team has always had a hard time scoring in the first quarter. And we scored 14 points. That was the most points we scored in the first quarter all season. And that's because Jalen Hurts was rolling. He really was. The offense was rolling. Jalen Hurts, and we joke about it since the first episode, 75 episodes later, we joke about sliding. Jalen Hurts didn't slide.
No, he did not.
He went head
Earl,
first.
sing it for us.
Slide.
He did not slide. He went head first.
Now, baby, slide.
Yeah, he didn't slide. He went head first. Frankie Luvu kind of put his body on top of him and his head went slammed on the ground. Had a concussion, tried to come back. He really tried to come back. And
NFL told him no. Team said yes, but NFL said no.
NFL protocol said no, sir. Go to the locker room. And he did not come back. That changed the complexion of the game. It really did.
And you play with the team that you got. You got to make sure your backup quarterback can handle it.
Well, next man up. And Kenny Pickett, I hate the term next man up, especially with quarterback. They're starting going back for a reason. Franchise quarterback for a reason.
Okay.
But Kenny Pickett came in. Kenny Pickett didn't hurt us. I mean, he threw an interception right at Frankie Louvu. Terrible
yes, he did.
interception.
Yeah, he did.
But
gave him a gift.
Yeah, but with that said, though, he didn't lose this game for us. Offensively, Saquon was rolling in the first quarter. He had like 100 yards in the first quarter. It looked like it was going to be a record day with Saquon. But that changed when Jalen Hurts went out. The Commanders' defense loaded the box. They did everything they could to stop Saquon and let Kenny Pickett throw.
And they did.
And it was really on Kenny Pickett to throw. The offense as a whole was pretty good. Throughout the game, there were some very important drops that happened between all of them. All the skill players really had drops. But the most notable drop came in the fourth quarter with Devontae Smith. He was completely wide open. And he just dropped the ball.
There were two major drops in the fourth quarter. The other one was by your MVP guy.
Well, actually, it was three. AJ had a drop too. Well, AJ caught it, and Marcus Lattimore kind of knocked it out when he was on the ground.
Yeah, three.
Yeah. So all three skill players had drops in key spots.
It's not like
Kenny
Pickett threw
one
bad.
was the worst one.
Oh yeah, because like the other two, you could at least say the defenders like knocked it out.
Yeah, Devontae was just. I don't know what happened.
If you guys would have gotten that first down, you guys would have won.
We won the game.
Yeah.
And it's funny because our last two losses, we lost 10 in a row. Our last loss came in the end of September.
Mm-hmm.
That was because Saquon dropped the ball, a pass. And we lost this game because of a drop pass.
Yeah, but it wasn't Saquon. I don't think Saquon's drop was the end all be all. I mean, it would have sealed it for you guys, but like it wasn't like fourth down or anything.
It would have been a game winner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They would have won the game against Atlanta if he would have made that catch. But anyway.
I'm talking about this game, but yeah.
This one, it was just Devontae. Because that was winning into the 2-minute warning.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one first down. You only had one timeout. So, yeah, I mean, that's the way it goes. Hey, I say it. A win is a win. A loss is a loss.
Yep.
I said GG. I'll say it again. GG, Lucas.
GG's, of course.
And on the other side of football, defense. We had the number one defense coming into this game. Our defense although we had 5 turnovers.
I was about to say, you guys got 5 turnovers. There's no excuse.
Some of them were just missteps on the Commanders. Daniels threw an interception.
Yeah.
That was just the ball just sailed on him.
Yep.
It went right over his head, Luke McCaffrey's head.
Mm-hmm.
But we had 5 turnovers, but when we needed a stop, we couldn't get a stop. There was multiple first downs fourth downs where it was like 4th and 11, and we couldn't stop them. They got a first down. So yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of defensive errors. This game came down to a drive by Jaden Daniels. Someone's already calling it a legacy drive, quote unquote. I don't know about that, but
I'll get into it. Don't worry.
Yeah, but it was a good drive by him, and the defense just couldn't make a stop. We gave up a lot of points. If I have to give a blame pie, 50% on the defense, and I got to get 50% on the Devontae Smith drop just because that would have sealed the game.
You can't give 50% to one player, really? He did a lot of good things.
You got to put that to the play caller.
Ooh.
No, I wouldn't even blame that on play caller. You got to make that catch. Did you see the game, Earl?
I saw it.
I mean, it was like nobody 5 yards away from him. He just dropped off his hands.
He got hands like feet.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta get the ball into your best player's hands, and I think at that point in time you could have gave it to Saquon.
Well, Saquon did have 150 yards. He had 29 carries, but he had 150 yards.
But after that one rip for that long run, we held him.
Yeah, I mean, I would have took
20 yards
took my
59.
chances with Saquon
that was 68
in that
yards
moment.
on that run.
Yeah.
AJ had 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Listen, last week we talked about Marshawn Lattimore. 1-on-1, I'm taking AJ Brown over Lattimore.
Okay, no, this is where I have to pause you for a second, sir, because you know that first PI, pass interference, AJ had him by the collar.
Both of them were suspect.
Both of them were suspect.
But I retort that with the officiating with the 2 personal fouls on CJ Gardner-Johnson were just horrendous. You can't get thrown out of a game for talking trash on a football field.
I think that maybe you give him one, but not both. Not when the game's like that.
You can't. No. This is football, Luca. This is the gridiron. You can't kick somebody out for talking.
I don't.
Honestly,
I thought you were going to complain more about the false start that wasn't called. The false start that wasn't called against Andrew Wiley on the last play. That's what I thought you were going to do, because I saw that. I didn't see it during the game. I saw somebody highlighted it on Instagram. I'm like, oh shoot, they got a case here.
Listen, I mean, referees are not perfect. They're not going to be perfect. But you just can't make calls like that can change the outcome of the game. We lost our starting safety. Now, with that said, we still lost the game. No excuses. The officiating went both ways. We lost. We lost the game. I'll wrap this up by saying we lost the game. That puts us in a weird spot now because I don't think we can win the number 1 seed. So
not happening.
Our goal now with these next 2 games against the Cowboys and Giants, both at home, is to win the NFC East, win a division. We're pretty much locked into the number 2 seed. So
can I suggest something maniacal?
No, don't say it because I know what you're going to say. Don't say it.
So I saw Adam Schefter mention this on ESPN, that you guys should sit your players on the last game and let the Giants win so that they don't get the first overall pick.
We're still going to lose to their backups. It doesn't matter.
That is maniacal, but we can't we got to worry about ourselves going forward in the playoffs.
I mean, even if you're looking at yourselves looking in the playoffs, take that last game off. Get your guys rested. Make sure nobody gets injured.
I was going to mention that.
Real quick, though, I think that last year that you guys lost 3 in a row, and I think that affected your playoff performance.
No, they lost 6 of their last 7.
And AJ Brown got hurt that last game of the season.
No, we had a major slide in that last year. But
I don't think they have to worry about that this year. Of course, then again, we broke the Bears season on a game winner, so anything's possible, I suppose.
I think going into this game against the Cowboys, I think it's a very winnable game. I have the winning the game. Do I? Yeah, I do have the winning the game. But
check?
Yeah. No. I had them splitting. I had them losing in Dallas. I had them winning in Philly. But things have changed drastically since then. So
I don't know. They're playing good defense now. Just saying, watch out.
Yeah, they played inspired football. They did yesterday. To end this off, I'll say this. We go into Philly, going back home to Philly next week. We're going to win this game against the Cowboys. We're going to lock up the number 2 seed. We're going to, I see Earl's face. I'm saying that confidently because I already picked them to win.
Say it with your chest.
I'm saying it on my chest. Eagles are going to win this football game. They're going to lock up the NFC East division. And the sad part now is I think they're going to sit the players in week 18, which means I don't think Saquon's going to break the record, which is a shame because I would like to see it. But there's a bigger
How many
goal
yards
at hand.
is he away? Because he got
268.
Yeah, he ain't getting that in one game, so.
Yeah, I mean, if he played both games, he could have broke it, but
There's a chance.
No, let's be for real. If he played against the Giants, he could definitely break that in one game.
Yeah. I do believe
268, he could do it in one game against the Giants.
Yeah, 268. I mean, 140 per game. He had 130 yesterday, so it's definitely doable. But I mean, that's not feasible now because I don't think they can get the number 1 seed. Why play that last week? Rush your guys. So Saquon is not going to play in that last game if they win next week against the Cowboys. That's a shame, but bigger aspirations, bigger goals down the line, and the Eagles definitely need that game to rest, a week to rest. So, GG's Lucas, and yeah.
It was a great
Maurice,
game.
Who's your player of the game?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you for reminding me, Earl, because I never do that. What went wrong? We lost our starting quarterback. What went right? Kenny Pickett didn't lose us the game. And player of the game, I don't know. I go AJ Brown. He kind of dominated, kind of.
I mean, he only caught 50% of the passes that was thrown to him. So that's cool.
What?
Didn't he get 15 targets?
18 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
against a better corner defender.
Yeah, but still, he didn't get about.
He had to work to get those.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, but let's go ahead and move on to the Commander side of this. First off, you know that I've said that any success outside of going 8-9 is money. This is the first time since 1991 that we've started the season 10-5. Okay, first off. Secondly, Jaden Daniels. If there was any question about him being the Rookie of the Year, that's squashed. Okay, he's at least 2 or 3 game-winning drives now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's squashed. Could have been 4, but our field goal kicker missed a field goal. So yeah.
But you also had a Hail Mary, so I mean,
look, it balances out. But look, he, and yes, this is a pun, took command of the offense. He had a little bit of a slump halfway through the season. I think they were just trying to protect him after the rib stuff. That's over with. It's done. He got free range again to run the offense how he sees fit. Look, Saquon might have had more yards, but let's be clear. Jaden Daniels was the most dynamic runner on that field because, Saquon was getting stopped behind the line about 4 or 5 times in the game, right? Jaden, when he got in the open field, it was hard to tackle him. You can agree to disagree. That's fine.
Lucas, you can't equate the both. One is scrambling and one is a running design.
Okay, fine, whatever. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of this. First off, Terry McLaurin, chef's kiss. Now he's tied for the most touchdowns by any running wide receiver in franchise history. He's tied for it. Just needs one more to break the record, right? Jaden Daniels' fifth
season in a row, he's had 1,000 yards receiving.
Yep, 5th season in a row now. By the way, him and CeeDee Lamb have pretty much comparable numbers, only, he has a lot more touchdowns. So keep that in mind. No, not him and CeeDee, my bad. Him and AJ. AJ has slightly more yards and less receptions because he played 3 less games. Give you that.
All 3 are elite.
Yeah, all 3 are elite. Look, Terry, we talked about it in the preseason. Is Terry a real number 1? I don't think that's a question anymore. It's not a question anymore because he's a red zone target. He might not always put up the biggest numbers receiving wise. That's not really his game, but he's a guy he's the best body catcher in the NFL. He's the best guy that can catch with his body in the NFL. Does he have the smoothest hands? Not all the time. That's something that he could always work on. But, like, getting down to the end of this, look, Jaden Daniels, like, yes, you guys could have sealed the game, but at the end of the day, it took Jaden Daniels to make that game-winning drive. How many veterans are making that game-winning drive in the NFL? Be serious. We got Patrick Mahomes, maybe Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen probably, right? And Joe Burrow. Like, who else do you trust to be able to do that? Not that many, right? Not that many.
10, just to think off the top of my head.
Okay, still, that's only a third of the league, right? So the guy's going to be elite. He's probably close to being elite already. I'm trying not to get too hyped about it, but what went right for us is that our defense finally caught up. They were playing with the same tenacity that they needed to. They loaded the box. They were able to hold, Saquon to a reasonable number after that big bust. And yes, you could say it was Jalen Hurts, but you play who's in front of you, okay? You adjust accordingly. Jalen Hurts could have slid. He could have slid. Didn't do that, okay? That was his choice, okay? Might have cost them the game, might have not have. Who knows? Who knows? He was only 1 of 4 at that point passing wise, right? So it's not like he was lighting it up in the air game, right? I mean, he had a good running game up at that point, right? So let's keep that in mind. Maybe the threat of him is bigger than the actual what he was doing. Fair enough. You play who's in front of you. What went wrong for us? The turnovers. Look, 5 turnovers against the best defense in the league usually loses you the game. I honestly don't know how it didn't. Because, okay, first off, Brian Robinson. No, I'm not trying to be mean, Maurice. I'm just being serious.
We didn't have our quarterback.
I don't care. You had a 21-point cushion on us.
Real quick. What the announcers for that game annoyed the heck out of me. The guy keeps saying, "What an improbable comeback victory by the Commanders! 5 turnovers." Like, well, it evens out when you don't have your starting quarterback. You have Kenny Pickett with a noodle arm.
Well, then you shouldn't have taken Kenny Pickett as your backup quarterback. Get somebody that can be that can emulate the offense closer to Jalen Hurts.
You can have
Drew Lock last
if you
season
want.
You had Mariota.
You did. And you let him go.
Or downgrade? I
got a bunch of backup quarterbacks if you're in the market.
Yeah, bring Tommy DeVito to Philly. Yeah. The Italian Paisano, right? I would love that. I would love that so much.
Between cutlets and a Philly cheesesteak, I'm here for it. Oh my gosh.
I'm all for it. What if they made a Philly's cheese? What if they made a Philly cheesesteak special, but with cutlets on there? If he came
talking about a Philly cutlet,
yeah.
So Philly basically, cutlet. A chicken Parmesan hero.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Speaking of Big Backery, and there you go.
Oh, that's Big Backery at its finest.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No,
your thought.
Good. You're good. No, it's all fun. No, so anyway, getting back to the game here. Look, De'Ami Brown, that high usage, I was expecting him to mess up at least once, and he did. That's not a surprise. Brian Robinson, who hadn't fumbled at all this year, had 2 fumbles. That's a big deal. Like, I saw his confidence shook in that game, and I'm hoping that he can, shake it off. But if not, that's not good for us. You guys did a great job, and that's what went wrong. We couldn't run the ball outside of Jaden. He accounted for like 91% of our rushing of our total offense. Like, that's our backups were 3rd string and a practice squad guy. So, like, that's not great. We definitely missed Eckler this game, that's for sure. I wish somebody didn't give him a concussion so bad that he was out for the rest of the season. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Earl.
You getting mad over a textbook clean hit? Go ahead and finish your point dealing with this game.
Look, I think that the NFC East should be worried about Jaden Daniels because this roster is still far from being complete. I think that we are 2 years away from having a really competitive roster. And by the way, Dan Quinn's the first head coach to ever go 10-5 in their first. You get 10 wins in their first season in DC. So kudos to him. Also, some stuff on the most recent the first episode of DC Football 101 with Mr. J. I talked about how they initially did not allow the bill that they had for government budget to include the new stadium rights, the rights to the land to be transferred over to DC. They did the following night, like at 1:00 in the morning, they did approve the land to be transferred to the city of DC in a separate bill. So now we are one step closer to the Washington team being back in DC where it's supposed to be. So,
hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Anyway, player of the game is Jaden Daniels. Look, 5 touchdowns. Only 6 other rookie quarterbacks ever have done that before, and he's the first one in DC to do it. So, look, he's special. I don't know what else to tell you. So, yeah. Anyway, any thoughts, conjecture, or are we good to move on? Because I just realized me and Maurice just ate up a good chunk of the podcast. Any questions? Any thoughts? No? Then I think
it was a good game. Like overall, it's one of those division rivalry games, and anything's possible with it. A situation occurs where your top quarterback goes down. You got to make do with what you got, but at the same time, it was still up in the air. It was still winnable, and you had a rookie kind of continue to create his legacy, to have it grow a little bit in his first season. So, yeah, overall, I thought it was a fun, entertaining game. And, yeah, he's doing this stuff now. We just got to see how he does next season.
Yeah. Also, you guys had a chance to stop us on a 4th down, and you didn't stop Jaden.
Yeah, no, I think that was the 4th and 11.
Yeah.
When he scrambled for it. Listen, he's a good scrambler when he wants to run. When he wants to run, he could make a huge impact on the game.
That's the difference between him and RG3. He runs because he can, not because he has to.
I think I just looked at the stat. Brian Robinson only had 24 yards rushing.
Dude,
Jaden
it was
Daniels
terrible.
had 81.
Yeah, it was terrible. Brian Robinson, look. So
That
I was
front
thinking
four was
about
stout.
this, and I didn't mention this to Earl because I kind of wanted to surprise him. But if his team don't take Genty at 12, and he's still there by the time Washington picks in the later of the first round, I'll take him. I'll take him.
So you want to get rid of Robinson?
No, Robinson's still under contract.
So you think it's somebody to replace Eckler?
Eventually,
you got
eventually you're going to have to
Rodriguez.
replace both of them. They're both injury prone. Injury prone.
Let Chef Peters do his job, Lucas.
Look, I'm not going to be mad if he takes a running back in the first round. That's
no
all I'm
GM
going to
is
say.
going to draft a third string running back in the first round.
Well, I don't think he's a third string talent.
And
I
is
think
that one guy that you definitely need with your first pick?
I mean, probably not, but I'm not going to complain if it happens. That's
I would say go get
feel.
your number 2 receiver.
Number 2 receiver or an edge. I think those are the 2 positions.
I mean,
but anyway,
it's possible. Like
my team's not the one that we got to worry about draft wise right now. That's going to be Mao. So I'm going to give the mic over to Mao now. I'm sorry.
Yay, my favorite part of the night. Talking about the Giants. Woohoo! Who's excited?
You know what?
I'm
You know what? You
excited,
have you got some things that we can talk about with the Giants. Some John Mara stuff, some Malik Neighbors stuff. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we're gonna go a little different this route. Instead of focusing on the game too much, I'm gonna be a little brief because I think our listeners are tired of hearing me complain. Newsflash, I'm still gonna complain, but in a different way.
The floor is yours.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. So, Giants played the Atlanta Falcons this week. I will admit, guys, I did not watch this one live. I was working and didn't have my phone on me. And I went back from my break at 12:45, ended my day at 4, checked my phone, and I said, nice. Amazing. Just how I expected this to go. So the Giants got killed in Atlanta 34-7. Abysmal performance. 2 pick sixes by Drew Lock. Only touchdown was by Tyrone Tracy. One positive, though, out of this game was that Malik Neighbors did become the Giants rookie record holder for receptions over Odell Beckham Jr. So he's having himself a season through 4 different quarterbacks. He's almost at 1,000 yards, and I think he will hit it. He's only, I think, 20-something off or 30-something off. So he'll get there, which is pretty impressive with when you got Tommy Cutlets and Danny Dimes and Drew Lock and Tim Boyle. I don't even know who's the quarterback anymore. So, yeah, that's great. Drew Lock got hurt again. He had an MRI on his shoulder, so Giants quarterback carousel continues.
Hooray! Tommy Cutlets again, please.
Exciting, good stuff. Go Colts. Okay, so first order of business was John Mara's reaction to this game. He was sitting up in a box in Atlanta, and you could tell he's not happy. He's definitely mad. I don't even know how you can justify bringing Shane and Dable back, but I was looking at some stuff that like some beat reporters are releasing, and they're saying, basically, what do you do from here? Because Shane and Dable are not performing well as a unit, but who do you really have that you can replace them with that is going to do a better job at this point? Because John Mara hasn't been vetting any candidates. So
Dion.
Dude, relax.
Dion.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. It'll be one thing if we get his son, but Dion I don't think will come. John Mara is not happy. I don't know if it's the planes. It's probably partly the planes, which is hysterical. That's a great part of this season.
The planes.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the plane says next week at MetLife. So
I was going to ask if the plane was there, but then I realized Atlanta has a dome, so
yeah, no plane this week. But next week the plane will be back in action, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to know.
Is that a report or is that just a hope?
No, it's a no. I know it'll be back.
Oh, you know. Oh, no. Yeah. Do you have some insider information?
She has sources.
I paid for the plane. No, I'm kidding. I didn't pay for the plane, guys.
Wait, for real? It was Daniel Jones who played for the plane. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
it was Dexter Lawrence. That's what I'm thinking
Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, someone definitely paid for the plane in-house.
I saw you respond to somebody on Twitter where they were like, Daniel Jones is going to have the last laugh.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
Oh, one of the beat reporters. He said that.
Yeah.
I'll read the exact tweet for you guys because it was this wild of a take, okay? I can't believe he even put this out. I'm shocked that he's on the Giants beat.
Who is this person and who does he report for?
Ryan Dunleavy.
No relation to Mike.
And he is for New York Post Sports.
Okay.
So he says, and I quote, "You know who might come out of the Giants' disastrous last 2 months looking better? Daniel Jones. He kept the offense watchable. Clearly, that's no small feat. I wonder if some other GM coach with a better roster will see it that way."
I mean, apparently the Vikings do, but I
don't know about y'all, but what part of Daniel Jones' offense was watchable? Because we lost to Carolina with Daniel Jones.
That is true.
I don't know what he was watching.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's that. Honestly, Giants Twitter is in shambles. Everyone's fighting, as you would expect it to. But in conclusion, John Mara, not a happy man. Can't blame him. His team is in total disarray. Now, the Giants this week also, with the Raiders' victory, secured the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. So if we lose out, it is ours, guys. We have first pick. That's exciting. We can pick whoever the heck we want. So who should we pick with that #1 pick? I'll get more into that later on when we talk more draft stuff. But the big debate now is if it should be best player available or a quarterback. And my honest answer is a quarterback, because at this point, if they're good or not is not a question. You got to start swinging on some prospects because we can't keep living like this. 6 years of just terrible quarterback play. We got to try something different. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think Travis Hunter is even an option. I wouldn't even think about it.
I mean,
unless you're doing a trade back. It's like #2.
I mean, but then there's still the other Cam Ward.
You need a quarterback.
Yeah. You have to. Yeah. So, and then, that's been a whole thing with the beat reporters and the fans of, if we should take Travis Hunter and then get a quarterback in the second round. I say just swing, take your quarterback, whoever it is, and hope for the best there.
Yeah, that's scouting combine
Joe
for the
Shane
quarterback's
does
going to
not
be interesting.
I was about to say, if Joe Shane is still there after this season and he does not take a quarterback with that first overall pick, he will be ran out of New York City.
As he shouldn't even be the one making the pick, but that's a whole other different story. I would say get rid of him before Dable, but you got to kind of get rid of both of them because they're a package
I think
deal.
Dable's lost the locker room.
I don't know. I don't think he has. I think that they're just a really bad team. Like, they're not performing together and they're not performing well. It's not even like a culture thing because the Giants culture is losing. Like, I went over this weeks ago. They're not. When was the last time we've performed well in a game? I can't even remember. I can't even remember.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good point because Earl's about to talk about it, and the Cowboys just were eliminated earlier that day, and they rallied behind their coach this game yesterday. And I've never seen the Giants rally behind Dable.
Never. Only in 2022, that first season, when we were performing well. Then the next year I got a little bit more because, Daniel Jones got hurt and things were just a mess. And I get last year, but last year was not nearly as awful as this year. Last year, the team was rallying behind Dable a little bit, like with Tommy DeVito and Tyrod Taylor. Mm-hmm. It's just different issues. I just don't know what exactly is wrong. Either way, Dable's not coaching well this year whatsoever, and his play calling is terrible.
He shouldn't be the play caller right now.
Yeah, he should have given the play calls back to Kafka, but I can go on about this for days because it's hard to even understand. Like, you just don't know what really went wrong because then you have Drew Lock and all the players at pressers besides Malik Neighbors because he looks absolutely miserable. Can't blame him. His rookie season.
He said kudos to me, but we ain't winning.
Literally. But for real though, I respect that you got and he's always honest, which is great. He wants to win and he ain't doing a lot of that here. So I don't know. Whoever makes the pick better make the right one. That's all I'm going to say on that. And one last thing I wanted to bring up is what Giants players should we keep and who should go? Because clearly this team ain't good, but I only have a short list and it's Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy Jr., Andrew Phillips, Andrew Thomas, and Tyler Nubin. Everyone else can go. Bobby Okereke and Aziz are honorable mentions.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What about Evan Neal? You're not going to keep Evan Neal?
No, he can go flip burgers at McDonald's. I'm done with him.
Flip burgers at McDonald's.
Better yet, he could be a gymnast, but instead of that, he could flip pancakes.
Yeah, he could do whatever. He can go work at the Waffle House down the block from me. I don't care. But he got to get off my team.
Waffle House is underrated.
Your Waffle House is great.
But it'll send you to the toilet, though.
Big facts. But yeah, those are the players that I think the Giants absolutely should keep. There's a few other ones in there. I made this post yesterday and it kind of took off on Twitter and I got a lot of interaction on it. I think Jermaine Illuminor should stay. He's a pretty serviceable tackle. McFadden,
he's a veteran.
Yeah, Micah McFadden has been doing pretty well. So he's another one. Wandale, he's okay. He's doing all right. But everybody else, I really don't care at this point.
You given up?
Yeah,
have you given up on Jalen Hyatt? Is he?
Yeah, I mean, dude, he hasn't improved at all. He hasn't improved his route tree. He hasn't really. But I don't know. We've had terrible quarterback play, so I can't even really blame these wide receivers. But at the same time, that's not an excuse because Malik Neighbors is still getting it done. So I don't know. But like I said, it's a very short list of staples that should stay on this team, and the rest can go find a new job. And if it's in the NFL, that's cool, but just not on the Giants. It's just not working out for them here.
All right. Well, on that note, let's shift it over to them boys.
Yes, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. One thing I saw from this game, they are mathematically out. They have been eliminated from playoff contentions, but that didn't stop them from going out there and balling out and showing out and upsetting a potential playoff team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cowboys defeated the Buccaneers 26-24, and they pretty much called an upset and they sank the ship. One thing that I got from this game is that the defense really carried the Cowboys to victory, where Mike McCarthy's play calling is really shaky, and Antonio Zimmer decided to bail him out yet again. One thing that I noticed from the QB play with Cooper Rush, he had 35 passing attempts for 292 yards and 1 touchdown. It was pretty consistent on his part, but it was sustainable. He's a backup quarterback. The run game couldn't get going, where even though I respect the Buccaneers front on the defense, especially with Vita Vea, you really couldn't get a run game going, but I honestly believe that they could have kept running the ball just to try to open up and attack them on the perimeter side. Rigo had 13 carries for 23 yards. It was one of his lowest carry percentages as well as rushing percentages as well. And let's see here. Yeah, they only had 20 attempts with the running. And for that, you really can't have success, especially with complementary on the offensive side, where you could have done a little bit more in running the football. But that's no here or there. The defense was definitely the light in this. What went wrong in this game was pretty much McCarthy's game management as well as his play calling. Time and time again, it sounded like a broken record with just his play calling. I really think he's got to forgo this play calling after this season if they do decide to bring him back. I really got to see what Brian Scheidenheimer has, especially as an OC, because he's just been here with the title instead of calling plays. I got to see it. I didn't get a fair evaluation of him, and hopefully I can get that in these next 2 games. One thing that went right was the defense. Mike Zimmer really had these guys playing regardless if they were injured or not. The guys stepped in when they needed to, and that what mattered most. I want to give a shout out to Jordan Lewis for an incredible interception at the end zone that could have potentially been a touchdown. He pretty much took the ball from McMillan. It was a phenomenal play on his part. And I want to give a shout out to Deron Bland for making a key fumble recovery. Straight took the ball from Rashid. I forgot his name. I think it was Rashad Rice. He pretty much
Rashad White.
Yeah, he took the ball from him like right out of his hands. It was a phenomenal defensive play where you needed it most because the offense really couldn't help you. And Zimmer pretty much bailed out McCarthy again. And overall, I enjoyed that. One thing that I'm really hurting about is I got 2 more games to see the Dallas Cowboys play this season. And it really hurts my heart to see because I feel like this team could have done a little bit more, but the injury bug caught them. And then ownership really didn't do much to help this team in the offseason. And for me as a playing football and just love the game of football, that really is going to be tough, but I'm going to do my best to get through the draft coverage with Dallas as a whole. But I just love seeing the Cowboys play regardless win, lose, or draw. And just seeing how well the defense played. They were already out of the postseason, and they still played up and upset this team that was trying to get into the postseason. The Falcons pretty much has that spot for now, where it's pretty got the Buccaneers outside looking in. And for them to do that, that showed that they love playing the game of football, and they were going to play to the very end. And that's all I wanted from this team and what I wanted them to do. I got 2 more shout outs. And just to make sure I got my notes.
But while you're doing that, I want to shout out Vita Vea.
Yes.
He put a hit on somebody at the end of that game.
He put a hit on Jake Ferguson. It was like
Ferguson, yeah.
When I saw Vita Vea drop out, I'm like, wait, where's he going? And when I saw him, I was like, Ferg, look out. When he hit him, I was just like, ooh.
Yeah,
like if you look at Ferguson's face, he was like, "What the heck hit me?"
Yeah, he's a dynamic monster in that line.
Yeah, that front for the Buccaneers, like I give credit to those boys because Todd Bowles, he knows what to do with that front, and for them to have Vea, that's how you're supposed to like have your defense, like smash mouth. And I also want to give credit to both teams. It was a lot of hard hitting in this game. Like it was like some old school textbook hitting. And that's what I grew up watching. And
it was like
I
a
just
playoff
loved
game.
it.
It was like a playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, look, I'm just kind of sad that I only got 2 more games to go. But I'm enjoying every minute of it regardless. I want to give a shout out to CeeDee Lamb. He is getting close to being see here through his numbers. He's on the verge of breaking the record that Michael Thomas had a few seasons ago. He had let's see, 7 receptions for 105 yards. And he's 15 receptions away in these last 2 games to break the record for most receptions in a player's first 5 seasons. He's already eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark, making it his 4th straight. And he's up there with Michael Irvin. That's an incredible company with that record. Hopefully at some point in time, maybe some bling could happen at some point, but that's nor here or there. We'll see what happens with that in the future. And see here. Also, with the Cowboys being eliminated once again, it now makes 29 consecutive years that they have yet to make it to a NFC Championship game, which is abysmal on their part. My player of the game, I'm going to give it to Brandon Aubrey for his 4 field goals at a total of, he hit a 58-yarder, a 49-yarder, another 58-yarder, and a 53-yarder. So he went 4 for 4 on field goals. I give him the player of the game. Dallas Cowboys, y'all continue to work hard and play the very best that you can. And I definitely see the progression of stacking on good days. Y'all keep it up.
So I got 2 questions for you, Earl. One, is Brandon Aubrey now the best kicker in football? And 2, has the chances of Mike McCarthy coming back risen?
Yes, on Aubrey, he needs to get paid. And probably about maybe 49% for Mike McCarthy. Just got to see what he does in this Eagles game and then the Commanders game. But I don't know. I think seeing as a team hasn't quit on him, that's really proven his case that they could re-sign him. And I don't think Jerry Jones is going to try to make a change with another coach during this time, especially with his age, and then so on. I'm going to say this, then I'm going to shift over to the next thing, but I had a talk with one of my cousins over Sunday dinner, and I was just wondering how he thought of what was taking place with the Cowboys, and he wants to clean house of everybody. So I asked him, I was like, what coaches do you have in mind? He really didn't have a good answer for a coach, but he did bring up the name Cliff Kingsbury. And I was like, why would you bring up this name to be the head coach? And he's like, he's very innovative. He's a young coach. He's got Jaden Daniels playing up to a T. And I'm asking him, if that's the case, you saw what he did in Arizona. He was like, yeah, he got Kyler Murray to where he needed to be. Well, what has he done after that? What progression has he done for that? And then the question that I asked him was, do you think Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are going to allow him to coach? He got quiet. So
Good
for
question.
that, it's basically to that point, yeah, you can get a guy in here, but they pretty much get neutered when they're in-house. So one thing that I noticed from this is that, yeah, you can bring Cliff Kingsbury in, but he wouldn't be able to coach. And yeah, he's got Jaden Daniels on the side in Washington. But we just got to see if he learned from his past mistakes. Because Kyler Murray was also a Heisman Trophy winner. He was a smaller frame, a little shorter than quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, he's a little bit taller, but a skinnier body frame for a quarterback. So we just got to see what happens with his growth there. But honestly, I don't think there's another coach that could overthrow McCarthy, nor can I see one overthrowing Zimmer with the progression on how hard they're playing with house money. So, yeah, I think the regime should come back, but it's just a determination factor. Got 2 games left, and we just got to see what happens there because, yeah, McCarthy could prove that, yeah, he deserves a chance because they really didn't give him a shot this season. Then, yeah, you can give that to him maybe a 1-2 year deal. But honestly, I don't think there's another coach that could come in here and change what's happening because there's so much going on with the Joneses and their meddling that I think they should keep this coaching staff and just see how they can carry momentum at the end of the season and push that sucker all the way up into the next season.
Mhm.
And some guys will come back off injury too. I'm very interested to see what Sam Williams does after coming back from his season-ending injury. He should be at full strength going into the offseason. And some other players that I think they should look into and re-signing is Osa as well as Chauncey Golson. And I think they might move on from Eric Kendricks. And there's a possibility that they could bring back Nick Vigil, especially at linebacker. I want to give a shout out to Maurice as well because he's stepping in for Demo. But yeah, I think it's probably about maybe 5 guys or 6 guys they could bring back for the offseason.
All right. So,
but I'm done. I digress.
Oh, okay. We gotta wait for the digress, or else we don't know if you're actually done.
Oh, I got you. That's my signature. I got you.
Okay, cool. All right. That being said, Maurice, you get the night off because we do not have any.
Yes.
Any
To our
questions.
listeners, participate with us. Send us a question on social media, Twitter, Facebook. We read them. We read it on air. We'll read your name. We'll shout you out. So I know all the listeners out there that listen to our episodes. I know you got questions, so bring them on. We'll answer them. But for this week, no mailbag.
No mailbag. So that being said, I think it's time for Earl to shine, correct?
Oh, it's that time already.
Yes, sir.
Gosh darn it, I did it again. I got a quick another shout out. Michael Parsons, he hit 50 career sacks, becoming the 6th NFL player with at least 50 sacks in his first 4 seasons. He's up there with the greats Dwight Freeney, DeMarcus Ware, J.J. Watt, Derek Thomas, rest in peace, and Reggie White, rest in peace.
Good company.
Good company.
Agreed. Now let's get to everyone's favorite subject, and that's who's that football player?
A goat?
This football player played with the Philadelphia Eagles back in the 2019 season. This player had 16 starts. He had, if I'm looking at this correctly, 1,163 offside penalties.
Offensive snaps played.
Got it. 1,163 offensive snaps. He had 3 penalties as well as 3 holdings, which was 3 penalties.
Not as well. Those 3 penalties were all holding.
Got it.
That's why I have it in parentheses versus comma.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. But this player's career awards, he was a 5-time NFL Top 100. He was a 1-time Super Bowl champion, a 7-time Pro Bowler, and a 6-time first-team All-Pro. Guys and gal, who's that football player?
So this is really just for Earl and Mal.
Yeah.
Who do you think, Mal?
Can you read it one more time?
Yeah.
1,163 offensive snaps.
He only had 3 penalties, and they were holding penalties. And
Zach Ertz.
You sure?
That's your guess? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Earl?
I'm going to go with Jason Kelce.
Is that why you did the GOAT thing? Because he's the GOAT of centers?
I don't know why I thought Zach Ertz. Maybe he had 1,163 yards in a season. Maybe that's why I'm getting.
Maybe.
Once again, Earl is correct.
And Lucas, I never call him the GOAT. I leave that up to the people.
Well, he's my GOAT center.
I bet he is.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason Kelce. He actually has an album out, a Philly Christmas special.
What?
Word? Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
That's the tie-in.
I think you should share that on the Twitter page.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know who, does he have, any features on it or anything like that? I got to check that out.
I don't know. You brought it up.
Yeah, but he definitely has albums on Spotify everywhere else. So shout out him. Actually a pretty good singer. Him, Jordan Malhada. Pretty good centers.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get that gold jacket. And
Yes.
overall, I think for just his character and just being able to play the game of football, even though he's a rival, I give him a ton of credit on just his absolute dominance in that position and being able to take command. So respect to him. Salute.
Take command.
All right. Next up.
All right, poll question. So we had a Giants poll question this week, and it was, who is paying for the plane that has been flying over MetLife Stadium, asking Giants owner John Mara to change things?
I made that one. Sorry, Mal. I didn't hear from you.
A random fan, a current player, Daniel Jones, John Mara, trolling fans. Most people said a random fan, which I know, all the trolling aside, I think it's a random fan too.
It probably is, but let me have
I
my
think, I think it's Dexter
I thought that
Lawrence.
was a fun question. I think that was a fun question.
I voted player.
Or
I voted for Daniel Jones. I voted for Daniel Jones. That could have been Daniel.
I don't think Saquon has the energy to care about the Giants.
I mean, he's kind of focused on other things.
Yeah.
I mean, he's having fun. You never know. It could be a low key.
Just pay some. Just go fly whatever you want over MetLife Stadium. Just make sure you tell them that they're trash.
I mean, that being said,
because which game did that actually start?
The one I went to, the Saints game.
The Saints
we
game?
were all just chilling in the parking lot tailgating, and we were looking up, and I'm like, that literally says, Mr. Mara, enough. Please fix this dumpster fire. And everyone there was like, no, it doesn't. I was like, it does.
I got another suspect. Our fellow family member, it could be Becca.
Ooh.
She might have paid for the plane.
Never know.
Is she fully invested if Daniel Jones is not there anymore?
Hey, you never know. Like,
so,
yeah, I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the trivia question. The question was, most people actually got this right on Facebook. Shout out to our Facebook. You're doing awesome. Instagram and Twitter, let's do better. That being said, which former Washington Commander / Redskin quarterback has the most rushing yards in franchise history? Mal, who do you think it is?
Repeat the first part of the question again.
Which former Washington Commander / Redskin QB has the most rushing yards in franchise history?
Wait, say that again?
Don't make
say
me
it for fourth time.
I feel like my old math teacher. He always used to say, "Don't make me repeat myself."
Please, poor favor.
Shout out to Mr. Trice. Okay,
and it's a former quarterback.
Former quarterback?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels has only played one season. Which former Washington Commanders / Redskins quarterback has the most rushing yards in franchise history?
I'm gonna say it's RG3.
Okay, RG3.
I was gonna
Maurice.
say RG3 too.
I'm gonna say Theismann.
You're gonna say Theismann, Mal. So we do have a winner, but it's not
RG3.
Earl. It's actually Maurice.
Wait, yes, Theismann?
Finally,
yeah, by like 300 yards.
It's not Earl.
Hey, my percentage is bad on this trivia, so yeah.
Wow.
Upset happened tonight, folks.
Upset, yeah.
I salute you, Maurice. Job well done, sir. Mission failed. I'll get him next time.
So Theismann has 1,815, and RG3 had 1,480.
If only he slide.
If any of the quarterbacks could have slide.
Yeah, especially for the Commanders Redskins, yeah.
I'm like...
the next quarterback on the list was Harry Gilmore and then Jason Campbell.
Oh, yeah, Jason Campbell.
That's a blast from pass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Him and Steven Davis.
I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels, but in a way, because that history of Commanders Redskins quarterbacks is not good.
He's sixth on the list, actually, right now. Jaden's sixth. So keep that in mind. But that being said, I don't think we have anything else.
Earl, prospects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, for those listening, we're not going to be posting these on social media anymore, but Earl's just going to cover them as we go throughout. So, that being said, go ahead, buddy.
Will do. This will be quick. I had the 5th round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. The Dallas Cowboys select Elijah Roberts, defensive tackle from SMU. He has a frame of 6'4", 295 pounds. Some of his strengths, he's a gifted pass rusher and a physical run stopper. I know for Dallas, they definitely need more like beef, especially in the middle, and you can also put him out as a defensive end. One thing that I know is that Zimmer, he definitely need these guys, these bigger defensive ends that can move. And hopefully if they're able to bring him back, maybe this could be a guy that they could draft in the later rounds that could be a draft steal, because I definitely saw some of his tape, especially with SMU. They, in all honesty, they got obliterated by Penn State in this playoff game. But as the season went along, he definitely had some good games where he stepped up and the team really needed him. One weakness I have with him is he's got to get off blocks better, but that's something that a defensive line coach, especially a good old school defensive mind coach, can work with him on. So yeah, I think he'd be a good fit for Dallas, and he could stay in the state of Texas as well. And that completes the prospect.
All right, let's go to our outro in Week 17 matchups. You know, I haven't heard Mal do the outro for a while. Let's have Mal do this one.
Week 17, we have an NFC East matchup of the Cowboys versus the Eagles. So that's exciting.
Kelly Green, by the way, winning Kelly Green.
Are you serious?
Yes, they are.
That's
gonna be a throw. Yeah, this is gonna be a throwback right here.
Are you guys throwback too, Earl?
Well, I mean, we're in our throwbacks, to be honest with you. Like,
okay, you know what I mean.
It's
like,
it's
is it
the
going to
current,
be like
but I definitely
they're not wearing blue because we're wearing the color. So yeah, so
All right.
So they'll be wearing the Kelly Green, so that'd be dope.
Dope. All right, so then we have the Giants versus Colts. Go Colts. And then we have
Taylor might have another field day. Probably
we tank our way, right? We tank our way.
We tank. Quarterback carousel. And then we have the Commanders versus the Falcons.
Sunday night.
I was kind of hoping that Kirk was playing, but you know what? Maybe he's going to see over there and be like, you know what? I could be a backup there.
Hendricks didn't look bad.
True.
Yeah, he made a name for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he won against the team.
This could be a letdown game for you guys. I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean,
and Lucas, the situation with Cousins, they're actually looking to cut him.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, he could look over on our sideline being like, I could end my career as a backup where I started as a backup. Just saying.
I wouldn't
mind a Kirk Cousins reunion. I think he would make a great veteran backup.
I doubt that'll happen. I think y'all are good with Mariota. But hopefully
he could go to New York.
No.
Yes,
leave me out of this.
He could.
Lucas, I tell you what.
You've been shipping Justin Fields to my team, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold.
Justin Fields had a winning record this year, okay?
Justin Fields didn't play.
Because they had a better option, okay? Just saying. Now, I will always troll your quarterback situation until you have a quarterback. Just know that. This is our thing. This is
Lucas, you're just saying that because you got your quarterback. Now, if they would have fumbled and getting their quarterback, you would be in the same boat as what Mal is for the most part.
I mean, you might be right, you might be right, but at the end of the day, that's not what happened here.
Oh no, I know you've been on your high horse these last couple weeks.
You were in this spot last year.
Those receipts, you just like
remember where you came from.
I mean, 10-5, I think deserves you to be a little bit on your high horse. Tell me if I'm wrong, though.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is we'll see who the true team deserve to be in the postseason.
I mean, look, I'm just happy to be there at this point.
And by the way, there's a high probability that the Eagles will play the Commanders in the playoffs.
Well, then I guess we'll see which team really has it in the playoffs, right?
We will see.
Round 3. Ding, ding.
Round 3.
That being said...
All right, guys, let me wrap this up.
Also, Lucas, maybe the refs will be on your side in this game.
I mean, you could say, you know what? I'm not even going to... Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, guys. So please make sure you follow us on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify and Apple Music at 13 Rings of NFC East Podcasts. Make sure you follow us on our socials, Facebook, X, and Instagram at 13 Rings of NFC East Podcasts. And please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at 13 Rings and NFC East Podcasts. Everybody have a great night.
Auf Wiedersehen.
See ya.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry
Love y'all to
Christmas.
pixels. Blessings.
Happy New Year.
Blessings.